What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So, welcome to Wednesday's discussion. So, Monday, Tuesday are topics. On Monday, we discussed Microsoft and how some of the source code was stolen, and there may still be an advanced persistent threat within their systems. On Tuesday, we discussed how a Central Texan won $170K for a national cybersecurity grant to better break down what's in all those privacy and EULAs and all the other good stuff, so we can better digest them and understand what we are signing up for. Today's discussion, and then of course it'll be followed up by Thursday will be Ask CISP. I have on Mike Ware, and then Friday everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. But without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. This article comes from CNN.com, written by Sean Lingas, and it's titled "Top U.S. Cybersecurity Agency Hacked and Forced to Take Some Systems Offline." So we've talked about them before, and we've been talking about them a lot lately. So I imagine this is why they were a target here. But it was CISA, folks. They came and got hacked, but the thing is, they reacted quickly, and the two systems that they found that were penetrated, they took them offline quickly. All right. So it's affected systems like they run a program that allows federal, state, and local officials to share cyber and physical security assessment tools. Right? So we've talked about this before, about them providing assistance to these companies that can't necessarily maybe hire on a cybersecurity firm whenever something happens. But CISA is there, to help them out and provide guidance for them. But so because of this, this is probably one of the reasons that this system was targeted. Well, if it's one of those things where you're trying to help people not prevent, but recover faster. And actually, yes, I will say prevent from cyber attacks. Of course, that's going to be, you're going to put a mark on your back, right? You're going to put a bullseye on your back. But right now they're saying there's no operational impact. They're going to upgrade and modernize their systems, right? Because that was one of the things that came about from this, is that they weren't updated to the level that they needed to be, and that's how they were able to be vulnerable to these attacks, or to this attack. The systems that were attacked run on older technology. They were already set to be upgraded or tech refreshed, whatever the situation may be, but they were a target, right? It's one of those things where when you're out there helping people, this is what happens. You're going to get probed. They're going to try to find what was going on. Now, they say in the article, it's not immediately clear who was behind the attack, but they also mention later in the article, among the hackers exploiting the flaws are a Chinese group focused on espionage, right? Which is what private researchers have told CNN. So I don't know. Is it the Chinese? Is it not the Chinese? Are they just not willing to say? It's a good bet that it is the Chinese. There is some tensions out there in the political world, geopolitical, I should say, right? Because there's some discussion over different territories that China thinks belongs to them. But it's a safe bet that Russia or China or North Korea is behind this, right? So this is part of the job when it comes to CISA, right? If you're out there trying to prevent cyber attacks or help people with cyber attacks, you put the bullseye on your back, and this is what can happen from it. But again, they were quick to cut off the two systems that were affected, which is good, right? So you got to have that plan. If something does happen, okay, this is how we go about doing this, these different things, right? And they did it. They executed it. Right? Hopefully it doesn't end up being more far-reaching as more time goes by, and they're like, okay, it was more than two systems that we thought. But I guess this is more of a reason to speed up the process for that refresh, right? Those older systems, right? Sometimes money, when you work for the government, money isn't as easily available as the American public may like to think, right? They're like, oh, I pay my tax dollars and this, that, and the third. Well, I was in there, and I know it doesn't come as quickly as you think it does. But yeah, CISA, hopefully they get back to doing what they do, right? Because we know they're out there doing God's work right now. You know what I'm saying? They're out there. They are. God, I appreciate them. I appreciate the things that they're doing, especially in this last year. Some of the articles that we brought up on the podcast have been just it's a bright shining star for CISA. You know what I mean? They're just out there doing good stuff. But Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
So my thoughts are you should like, share, subscribe. You're listening to this right now. Those are my thoughts. Oh, like 85 to 90% of you are listening to this right now, and you're not going to hit the subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button.
Man.
All right. I'm sad to see it, right? Because we are very pro CISA here to see them be hit with that attack. However, their recovery is also something to be talked about because they're able to pivot very quickly. That's their job. Their job is to help people secure their systems, to find those vulnerabilities, to be the spokesman between, or the liaison, I should say, between the federal government and small to mid-sized to large and other government business. So to see them able to right the ship fairly quickly is also a testament to what they do. So, because I can't just go the last episode bash Microsoft for not doing what they're supposed to do, and then turn around and praise CISA for being hit. So they didn't do anything necessarily wrong, like you said. It was a matter of these legacy systems were going to be upgraded anyway, and that's usually how they get you end life type situation, or you assess the risk that, hey, these things are going to be taken offline soon. Is it worth investing the money to do something with them, or are we going to invest that money to replace them? So obviously they lost that bet to a certain degree. But again, this seems to be the world we live in right now, which is a shame, right? So Microsoft, the behemoth, being probed and having their source code stolen. This is one of our guardians of security and justice being attacked. But it reminds me of the quote, and I had to look it up because I didn't know who to attribute it to. So John Chambers, the executive chairman and former CEO of Cisco Systems, once stated, there are two types of companies: those who have been hacked and those who don't yet know that they have been hacked. So they said that way back in the day, so to speak, and people were like, that's ludicrous. And now look at the world we live in. Like, he was 100% dead on. So again, it's good to see that CISA was able to take those systems offline and to quickly figure out that they were subject to an attack. So again, it's a testament to their resiliency and how quickly they move, because a lot of federal agencies do not move that fast. We learned that from SolarWinds. It's a huge ship. It's very hard to turn. So it's good to see that at least one agency is able to be pretty nimble, and hopefully they can teach this to their peers. So that way, if this happens, which it will happen again, unfortunately, they are able to pivot fairly quickly, and hopefully they get the funds they need. Like, we see a lot of money being dumped into cybersecurity. Well, these types of systems should be first on the tech refresh, especially now. Say, okay, well, these were hit. Obviously, these need to be replaced. However, here are the next ones in line. So we need funding to make sure that we're state of the art, top of the line, because you can't have like the agency who takes care of these types of situations be vulnerable to nation state actors of China, Russia, North Korea, and such. And it probably was China, because we did talk about it maybe a month or two ago, where China was in Microsoft systems, and then China was in a bunch of federal systems. We talked about the whole tripwire situation, where a federal contractor figured it out, and China was like, "Who, me?" He put a hand up, me?
Yes, you. You be then who?
Let's not blame me for stuff. So yes, so it sucks that they were hit, but kudos to them for being able to quickly take those systems offline. We'll see. If for some reason the system be tied to like I don't even know what it could be tied to. I'd say if it was the IRS, people wouldn't get their checks. That would be an excuse. It'd be an uproar. Except for us who now pay taxes, like get that tax bill, like go ahead and lose my number. But we will see what the future holds. Like, hopefully again they recover pretty quickly, and then we can discuss what was potentially exfiltrated and what was mitigated in that process. So definitely a good discussion coming up once more is released on this situation, and then who was attributed to, right? Like, maybe it's not China, but it's probably China. That's why our TikTok doesn't work. Can't upload one video. But definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. So Monday, Tuesday are topics, Wednesday discussion, Thursdays Ask Us SP. I'll have my mic where, and then Fridays everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. So hit us up by all the websites that go by our name. It'll either be the other side of the firewall, the other side of the FW, or Ask Us SP. Give me a person. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. And then Chris, you can find him on LinkedIn at Chris Abacon. That's Chris A. Bacon. Stay safe. Stay secure.